Good evening, all of you. Welcome to Revision IT program. Welcome to the module PLSQL. How are you all? I miss you in cloud consultation. Aishi. Yes, Akshay. How are you? Great. Kumar. Yes, Sunny. Did you attend the class? No. Okay. You had a class at 3:30, 5:30, I hope. WCD. Sunny, I did not get through message. That was dropped. Okay. Fine. What about others? Sonal, Subyani. Okay, shifted to TTS. Great. Okay. Mahendra, Akshay Mahendra, Aditya, Harsh, Nati, and who are there from Andheri Center using guest login? Rohan, Vaibhav, and Aishi. Once again, all of you, good evening. So, what about your practical? How did you all have completed your practical activities? Can I know from all of you? Just click on this as you all are clear, completed practical. Yes and minus. I want from all of you, please. So, can I know from all of you, please? Regarding practicals, I am asking a question. So, I will share a chapter. I will share a question to you all. Please respond to this question. So, I request you all to respond to this question. This question is directly you can respond yes or no, then I can easily assess that how good are you in this. Completed, okay. So ED is missing, you consider that completed 9 chapters of PLSQL Kit 1. So all are saying yes, no one is saying no, okay. Verbally Center, some are there, not completed, okay. Aditya and Sudyani, yes, that's the fair answer. I expect you all. Aishi, Neti, Sonal, Vaibhav, Chauhan. So fair answer only you can give. That doesn't wrong because sometimes we may not complete on time, but we have to plan it to complete as early as possible. Okay. Some have completed. Some are still pending with practicals. That is the fair way I have responded. Fine. So where we are in, what chapter? Actually we should start now. Can I know from all of you? Those who are following the courseware can write it immediately. Make it fast. What chapter I should start? I can understand the response, delay in response. Fine. So we should go with packages. Chapter 3 of Kit 2. Am I right? All of you, please respond. We had a discussion on procedures. We had a discussion on functions. Then we are moving into packages. Fine. Please respond, everyone. So the meaning of a particular technical concept is package. Okay. The package generally, if you consider the meaning of English, there are certain things we can combine as a single thing, right? There are different certain things we can combine as a single one that we can consider as a package. So what second chapter is functions. We had a discussion on functions. Am I missed anything? You can let me know, please. So procedures, then we had a discussion on functions. And there is a center who responded. So what was the last class? I ended with functions, I hope. Can you please respond once again? Just log in and there is center. Nothing wrong. You can give a mean, clear idea. Okay, fine. Thank you. So generally in the flow, if I miss one or 2 points, you can alert me. That is not at all wrong. Okay. But some of the things what you should do as a practically in the machine group, those you all should take it as a responsibility to take, right? Then only easily you can gain the knowledge. And this week I will conduct 2 or 3 cloud consultations for our batch. So who are missing, who have missing some topic can get it back, whatever the topic, okay? And for whom it is the second class, that also I want to take the details from all of them. Then we move forward subject. So is anyone recently joined for this course from my batch? No one is there, I hope, right? If anyone is there who joined after last few 3 classes, 5 classes, 4 classes, then respond. Okay? Fine. So objectives of the lesson. Understanding packages and its list their components. What is package and what way package can be created, what would be there in the package, what are the components in the package, those are all the objectives. Oh, sorry, okay Sunny, I will go back and I will discuss those things in case still some part is there, okay? Fine Sunny? Right. So as a part, still some part is there in the function, as Sunny Kumar is responded with the points. Fine, Akshay, okay, right. So that's why I had a confusion, that's why I asked you all. So we will discuss in case of anything is pending that I will cover. If I miss today, I will cover in the next class, that is Wednesday. Describe packages and their components. Create packages to group together related cursor, constants, exceptions, procedures and functions. Was just started. Give me a few minutes, all of you. So why you are all responding? So I'm sorry, all of you. I have just moved back. Manoj, could you please increase the volume? Manoj. What you are all saying like this, functions with in-out parameter I covered. Some of the things function with, okay, we shall see. I will take it once again. Yes, so Girani, great. Fine. So we have completed by this time, we had a discussion on procedure. So then we will move to function. The functions level 1 is already been completed in fundamental skit. But in this session, we are going to have a discussion on working with functions. In case if this is not being completed, we'll move with functions only today. Okay. In this, we have certain objectives to reach, differentiate between procedure and a function. We identified the procedure is a reusable piece of code. It would store in the database as a separate object. And I have given a clear idea that function also will be with the same nature. But what the difference between these two. There may be some difference between these two, and we need to understand the uses of the function and how to create and store a function, how to call a function, how to remove a function, and what the way how you can use SQL developer. The debugger of the developer also I will share it to you all, certain error handlings in developer environment. Okay. So as part of this, we are going to have a discussion on understanding functions is the first one. So understanding how to create a function, how to call a function is the next one. Then how to remove a function or a stored procedure from the location of your PLSQL program block or like in the database. So those are the objectives. So function is a named PLSQL block is the first one, right? Named PLSQL block in the sense it would store in the database as a permanent object. Can be stored in the database as a schema object for repeated execution. So if you consider your database as a repository, we have identified the stored procedure is a permanent object in the database, and the function is also a separate object in the database. So I'm just writing as this is the function. So I request you all to analyze it like a function body. I'm writing here as this is the function. Okay. So as a decoration, it is not a table. My intention is it is like a function. Now this function would exist in the database as a permanent object. So as many times as you want to call from the application, you can call it. But the function also will be exist in the database like a reusable piece of code. So from application, when you communicate with the database can call the function as many times as you want. So the reusability can be achieved using the function. Point taken. But function is called as part of an expression or used to provide a parameter value for another subprogram. Like function can be called using a parameter, and function can be passed as a parameter to another function. And you can use these functions in a PLSQL packages. That is coming chapter. Okay. Next chapter is PLSQL packages. So now once if you look into the functions concept here, almost it is like a database object. So you can consider one more thing as a stored procedure. Here I am drawing this as some pictures. Those are all you can consider as stored procedures. No problem. Shian, please join. Please be with us. Right? So this can be a function or this can be a stored procedure. Both are database objects. Okay. I'm writing it as a procedure. Okay. And this is a function. Both would exist in the database as permanent objects. Fine. So application can take and call or calling environment. Calling environment in the sense it can be an application or it can be ISQL Star Plus environment or it can be SQL developer. So these are the environments. Fine. So now we shall move forward. Conceptually, can I know from all of you, is it clear to you all? Is everything clear to you all? Please make it fast. We have just identified conceptually what the role of a function. Okay? Yes. It's called as a concept. Okay? Subjectively, conceptually. So I explained this point, I hope, like I have explained, like finding the total number of customers, all the things I explained. So fine, okay, this is like a recall to you all, no problem. I feel like it's a recall. Then I will move forward, okay. So that's why, like I thought that I have completed it. Fine. So I'm going for the other things to explain. So when you want to create a function, as I explained, the function creation is almost same like creating or replacing a function. So syntactically you can see, but function must have at least one return statement, because the function returns a value back to the calling environment. So the calling environment is your SQL Star Plus environment or Excel developer, or it can be an application. So when you are creating a function, create or replace function, function name, and function returns a value as its data type. So you can use the return keyword, and the data type is like you can represent what type of value the function returns. So based on that, you can define the data type of the variable also. I hope I explained all those things. Fine. So procedure execute as a PLSQL statement. Function invoke as part of an expression. Do not contain return clause in the header procedure, but PLSQL block of the function contains a clause of the return in the header. Can pass values, if any, using output parameters, but function returns a single value. Those who are clicking on no, don't click. If you have any question, you can ask. So how many ways you can pass the parameters to a procedure? In, out, in, and out. But function returns a single value, must return a single value, that is like a scalar value can be returned. Can contain a return statement without a value, but must contain at least one return statement compulsory in a function. So without writing a return type in the function, we cannot execute any function in the program. Okay? Fine, all of you? So I request you all to analyze this small example so that easily you can work out with the functions. In the last class, I showed a function to you all. Did you all remember? Finding the total salary of the employees, I explained. Total number of customers using the function, I explained. Did you all remember that? Fine, no problem. But you can see in the courseware function creation. Before that, I want to explain. Yes, Shayan responded. So I hope I have completed some extent of the function. Now I am recalling those things, even though I will explain some more things to you all now. Sharing the screen, 1 minute. The similar example, before explaining the similar example, I request you all to look into this example. Okay. Create or replace is the common keywords where you can mention that a particular function. In case it is already created, you can replace it with the new code, whatever you want to write in the function body. That is create or replace function. Function name is get salary. That is the name we have defined here. So this is the function name. So when the function is returning a value, that has been mentioned here. So ID, employee table, employee ID type, return number. What it has to return here? In this return, it has to return a value based on the function you are calling with a value. So it is taking the salary of a particular employee and it has to return the value. So two different variables we declared here. One is the employee table, employee ID type, and return number. It has to return a value. And it has to find the salary of the employee based on the salary data type. And currently initialized with a value 0. So variable is being initialized with a value 0. So in the entire statement here, that you are reading the value from this with only by passing the employee ID as the value, whatever you are passing as the PID. So the PID, whatever you supply, that would be taken as an argument by the function, and then the function would pass that value as the employee ID. So if you pass 100 as the value, that would be taken as the value here to the PID. The PID value will be copied into the employee ID variable. So the employee ID is the where class conditional column, So based on that, it returns the value of the salary of a particular employee and copies into the variable B salary. So that has to return that value of the salary number. So that is the function body. Point taken. If you have any question, you can ask me, and I will explain the parameter of the calling also. But before that, if you have any question, you can ask me now. All of you please respond. Here I am not going to type much more content. I am going to explain this with this example of your courseware. If you have any question, you can ask. I will explain once again through the code block. Let me take it into the environment. Is the screen visible to you all? Yes. Yes, Akshay. I will explain, Akshay. Again, I will explain. So I will share a small, much more easy example. Then I will go back and I will explain that, so that easily you can understand. Okay. So last class I explained a function. So let's start from customers. This table is there in my database. That database table I want to read from. Here I am just executing the select star from table statement to read the data from the customer table. Okay. 1 minute. So I'm reading select star from customers. This is the one I explained. Usually the same example I explained, or else you can consider select star from employees. So any table you can use to retrieve the data of the total number of employees. But in case if the employees table size is big, so I will use this easily to calculate total how many 10 rows are there. Okay. So now here I want to use this. I am using a count is the method. So count function I want to use. Count star I want to check. So it shows that how many number of employees are there in the table. So now it will return the total number of employees are 10. The same job I want to assign to a modular block that is like a function. So how can we create a modular block is the one we need to understand. So when you are creating a modular block to do the same thing, one example makes you very clear. So create or replace a function. Create or replace. So create or replace in the sense you can create a function, or if the function is already created, you can change it. So that is nothing but modifying the existing function. So I am creating a total customers. Is my function name. I want to find total customers. Function has to return a value back to the calling environment. So it has to return a value. So what the value it has to return, what data type it is. So I am using a return keyword, return. What it has to return a data type value. Like you can consider that it's a number data type value it has to return. Return number data type. Fine. So I want to make this number with the 2 digits of the number specification I want to mention, and I want to initialize with a value 0 currently, right? Or else, I want to make it as a number. 1 minute. Fine. So return has to be written as a number, and I don't want to mention any data type here. So is the keyword. So what way the function has to return? So it has to return the total number of employees. So for that I want to have a variable. So total. So number data type of 2 precision, and I want to initialize with a value 0. Fine. Create a replace function, total customer. and total customers have to be stored into the variable total. So generally, the body of the function or anything will start with a begin keyword and will be ended with the end keyword. There I want to use this entire statement. So my SQL statement is the part of this body. Okay. Select count. I don't want to display, I want to copy into total. Count star into total. Right? Into total from customers. So that is the statement. I hope you all understood what is actually the way how you can write it. So you are copying the total number of employees instead of displaying into a variable. So the job is given to the function to calculate total number of or to count total number of customers. All of you, as a fresh response I want from all of you. So now here in this, the next extent you can use a keyword return. So the return keyword I am using here. So I want to get the value back, total. So return total. So what data type the function is returning? Function is returning a number data type. So it's going to store the value of the number data type here. So and it is going to return the value of the total. Fine. Yes, Shian, good. All of you, others. And who have responded that I did not understand the initial code. Actually, this is not the first time I am explaining. With the same explanation I have done in the last class. But now more again I am explaining. Okay. Fine. So now we shall create this function. Executed the code block. In case if the function is existing with the same name, it would not accept it. So some errors also generated. So we don't want to invite those errors. I want to use this again. End block is not terminated. So if it is created with errors, again it would create a trouble for us. Find function created now. Because when it is created with some error, when you refer it, the errors will cause some more errors to generate. Right? So that we should avoid. All of you, please respond. Make it fast. Still people are joining, that is very bad. Because you are not attending class from the beginning and questions you are all asking. So that would be a very big strain. If I find the joining time of you all, if I write 2 sentences, then it would be a trouble, right? Fine. So now function got created. Now when the function is created, it would exist in the database somewhere as a permanent object. So as many times I can use this as I write, right? So function, once if it is created, that function I have to invoke. So invocation body of the function is nothing but I have to call the function. So how I can call the function, that is the one we need to do from a code block again. So I want to use a declaration of the body where I want to create a variable for holding the value returned by the function. Fine. So I'm holding a variable as number data type 2, and I want to initialize the variable like any value you want to initialize. Begin is the keyword where I want to start, end is the keyword where I want to end it. So this is the block as a calling block I am creating. So what is my function name that you please analyze? So my function name is total customers. That function I have taken. In the begin area, fine, I am calling the total by initializing it to my variable. So total customers function I am calling. What would happen when I execute it? So total customers function will be called. So that function you can see. This is the calling syntax. Function will be called, and when it is called, it will pass the value back. Return total. The total is the number data type value will be returned back, and it would be copied into the variable C. Now my C variable has the value which has been returned from the function. So now here what we should do, to use this variable, I want to use the statement set server output on. Fine. So then I want to use the package. Using the package dev underscore output dot put underscore line package. So I want to find the total number of employees, total customers. So that I want to concatenate with the number returned by the function. So that is my variable. Fine. So declared a variable as the name of the variable is C, that is count. You can consider it is like a count. Okay, count. So count is initializing. Again, you no need to worry about this. Why I have declared it as a variable. So count is the variable we declared, and we are initializing the variable by calling with the function. When function is called, it returns a value. So output dot put line, total customers, the count we are displaying. Any questions? All of you? So I copy it and I execute it to see the result. Oh, 1 minute. So count is actually a function. So I want to write it as v underscore count as is the variable. Okay. Then there will be no error in this. Count is a function, it doesn't accept it. V underscore count. Because we know that function counts the number of anything. It's a simple function. Count, max, minimum, we know how to use. So total customers are 10. Is it clear to you all? Obviously, it should be clear to you all. Those who have joined just 2 minutes back, please write a message that I have joined just now. It is not a query, it is a SQL statement. This is a separate block, is a calling block. This is a separate block, where an object block. So still, if you are all finding a confusion, so much more better way, I will try to explain to you all. You please look into this and don't spend much time of analyzing from my side only. Right? You two should prepare well. So I'm sharing a small scenario here. My database is there as this is a database where the data will be stored in the form of objects. Okay. So now, as a calling environment, I may communicate from the front end environment. The front end is the one which I am creating as this is the structure as the calling environment. So as you created a function already inside the database, fine. This I want to consider as the function. So this function is stored in the database as a separate object. Now from where you will send a request to access this, you will send a request from the calling environment. The calling environment can be an application or Oracle form, or it can be ISQL Star Plus environment, or it can be SQL developer. So from any environment, when you want to call, so how do you call the function? Is the one I explained through a program. So this function has been created as the code block, and this would exist in the database as a separate object. So now here I am copying this function inside this, and we assume that the function has been copied as an object inside it. Okay. Now this is the code of the function, where the function is existing or residing in the database. So this is the function, right? Right. Now at the time when you are calling this function should be called from this environment. So how you will call it? You want to place another block. This is another block. Fine. So in this area, you will use this another block to pass the statement. So my code block is this. Using my code block, I am calling the function. So the code block you can analyze here. When you are calling it, the total number of customers will be stored into the variable, and that has to be returned back to here. So here you will get the result as what you received here as total customers are 10. Can I know from all of you what is calling environment, what is the caller environment? So this is the calling environment. This is the call function. All of you, please respond. Shion, I hope you to understand, everyone. Click on plus, make it fast, please. Yes. So that's the reason, actually, the function. So now here, and we had a discussion on a different example based on your courseware. That is the first example I showed to you all. Now I am explaining the same thing to you all. This is a courseware example. I haven't uploaded some of the examples to you all. Okay. So create or replace a function. The name of the function is getSalary. Okay. So now here I want to share a small example here. That let me take this code. This code I am copying into my location. I copied here. I don't want to copy into variable. I want to take one employee salary. So select salary from employees where employee equal to 100. So when you execute it, it retrieves the information of the employees whose salary you are expecting, that only will be returned. So the value is like 24,000. So that is the employee salary. Okay. So from employees table, we are using this example. Now here, you want to pick that value for a particular employee. How much is the value I pass here? Employee 100. If it is 101, it returns 101 employee salary. That you can see 1700. If I pass a different value 120, it retrieves the information of the employee salary who has the employee as 120. The same thing, I don't want to do every time to pass the message from here. If I send that same example every time, what is the drawback here? This code block has to be checked every time when you are passing through there. Okay? When you are passing this code block every time, so it has to be checked against the database and whether the statement is well formed or not. So many things would take place as if the statement sending multiple times to database. So what I want to do, I want to make it as a permanent object, and everything like syntax can be parsed and object can be identified. Only execution you can execute from your side. So that's the thing I want to do with a small scenario here. For that we created a function name getSalary. Okay, function name is getSalary, and function takes an argument. What is that argument? It takes a ID, because where class construct it is. If you look into the SQL statement, it is a where class construct. Where class is a parameter. Function also take a parameter, but we are using type attribute to copy the data type of the column into the variable PID. So now PID is the data type of the employees table, employee ID column. So one variable you declare as is the parameter. Return number. So number has to be returned. vSal is the variable. If you look into this, vSal is the variable of employee salary data type, and currently is as 0. So begin select salaries into a variable. Here we retrieve the value in the SQL environment. Here we are copying into a variable from employees table, where employee ID equal to whatever you pass, that employee ID will be taken as a parameter, and it returns the salary of that particular employee. Return whatever the value you supply, and this particular function what you created, that has to be terminated, or that has to be closed. End. Okay. Point taken. So end function. Any questions? So this is the function I am going to create here. I copy it. I am executing it. Function created Have you all understood the role of the function? And the function also got created. So then you are execute dbms underscore output dot put line. So I want to execute it. So when I am using this, the function is getting called. Okay, get salary of employee 100. So this is called as calling. This function get salary will be called. You can see the get salary function. This will be called because you are calling with a value passing. So when it is written a value, that would be directly displayed by the package of the putLine method. So that is the only one I need to use here. So I am executing. So it has shown 24,000 as the value here. Can I know from all of you? I hope you all have understood now. You are strong enough now. Everyone, please respond. Very carefully I explained to you all. You also should respond with the same respect of understanding. Okay? Very good, very good. If anyone has a question, now you also can ask. Nothing wrong, but only the thing, still people are joining. If others are joining from any center, you can ask them why you are joining late. So if you join late, don't ask a question. My class will be disturbed. Okay, right. Fine. So this is the one extent. So there are different ways you can execute the function. Fine. So that I explained, the instead of directly calling, we pass the function as a parameter. So if you look into this example, in the previous example, how you call the function? We call the function by declaring another block as the anonymous block. Using the anonymous block, I call the function. Okay. When a function return a value that was held with the variable we count. So that value we display. But if you come to the second example here what we have done, we have called the function and we send the function as a parameter. Okay, it is like a expression. And we got the result as the result of the host variable. So I got the result back. Point taken. All of you, please respond. Yes, please. Very good. Fine. Great. So advantages of user-defined functions in SQL statements. So what are the advantages while you are using SQL functions? So what the major advantage is, can extend SQL where activities are too complex, too awkward, or unavailable with SQL, right? So in SQL, some of the activities are not possible, are too big coding. Every time I want to send it to the server. So the too complex and too big coding, how can I remember? So I first time, it's my learning, I searched in internet, I searched in books, I read many times in the books, I analyzed it, I have used my IQ, so I developed a big code. So every time remembering that code is not easy. Code is too complex and too big also. So that situation, what I will do, I will make it as a permanent object. So like I will create it as a function. And the same thing is not available in SQL to achieve it easily. So I only made it as a big program, but compacted as a function. So that is the way the functions help us to make our works done easily. Can increase efficiency when used with the where class to filter data, as opposite to filtering the data in the application. See what the point here is, we have used a function to call it. Suppose here, the example you please observe, subjectively you can experience it very well. Now, consider you are finding when we create a function. When we create a function, is it permanent? Yes, it's a permanent. Okay, it's a permanent object. Cheyenne is a permanent object always, like a variable. Sorry, like a procedure. Right. Now see, you want to find the available flight from one location to another location. So the flight tickets are there here in the table. Assume that flight list, complete flight list available. But when the complete flight list is appeared to you as the data of the complete table, so if you are filtering it, how much time it takes? If you filter it in the application, how much time it takes? Application has to filter it, means based on the location to location when you are planning to fly on a particular day, then application has to filter your requirement. So that is a too complex process. Instead of that, if a function filter it, the data, like previous example, if it can pass it the data to the calling environment, how application can run fast? So that is the one. Okay? Can I know from all of you? Then can manipulate data values also by the function. Any questions? All of you please respond. So subjectively also sometimes you need to analyze so that it would give a good rise to you all to understand more technically also. Without the subjective discussion and subjective analysis, you cannot gain the good complete subjective idea. Okay. Any questions? So I want to use a function as a SQL expression here. Create or replace a function tax. Tax. So how can I find the tax? So generally, to write a statement, I want to write a statement here in SQL environment. Select star from employees. So it would return all employees data. Okay. So all employees data has been returned. I don't want every employee table data here. I want to take employee ID, first name, salary. First underscore name. So that is the error. So now I have taken only 3 columns. Please meticulously follow this. Okay. Now what I want to do? I want to use another column, salary into 0.08 as tax. Okay, as tax. That you please analyze. From employee. So I am executing it. So you can see the tax rate has been returned. You can see tax is also been returned. Can I know from all of you? Tax have been shown. Now this one, tax calculation, I want to make it as a function. I don't want to use it. Every time I will use the tax function to call it. So generally how do you call? Upper function you will call to make the changes of the first name to be displayed in uppercase, right? So how you are calling it? Ronald. It has been changed into uppercase now. Same manner, this tax calculation you want to make it as a function permanently. How good it is. So now here this is the example you can see. Create or replace function. Function name is tax. So what it takes? It takes a value as a parameter because they calculate the text. It has to calculate. So the calculation, whatever the value you pass, that is like a department number, anything you can pass. Fine, it has found all employees here. If you pass it where department ID underscore ID equal to 100, so to that particular department tax only it calculates. Okay. Same manner here. It takes a tax value as a salary value and returns number after calculating the whatever the value you pass, it's 0.08. So this is the one I want to make it as a function. So now you can see how we are making it. This I want to use as the previous example. This SQL query I want to use. General SQL query I explained. Nowhere related to this. Okay. So there is no special meaning with this, but I just showed to you all. Now this is my function. Function created. Now function is available. What is the name of the function? Tax. So previous example, here it is a query statement. But now this example, I am calling the tax function by passing salary column as an expression. So how you are using upper function? How you are using upper function? Same, I am using tax function, but the tax function created by us for employees where department ID equals 100. So now this function got created. Now this we are using as an expression in your statement. So what happened here? The tax of the department 100 returned. How good it is? Can I know from all of you, please? Make it fast and make it respond, please. Yes, Shian. Shian understood much more clear. Very good. All of you please respond and give me 1 minute of time. Let me have some water, please. Fine. Anything else? Any questions? All of you please respond. Fine. So now, once if you consider restrictions when calling the functions from SQL expressions, because you may call a function with certain parameters, certain expressions, but when you are calling the function with certain expressions, you should ensure what type of restrictions are there in the function calling. Okay, so that I am sharing here. It should be stored in the database only, the function, first thing. Be stored in the database. Accept only in parameters with a valid SQL data type, not PLSQL specific type. Okay, there is no specific PLSQL type for the functions available. You can use SQL valid data types only. Return valid SQL data types, not PLSQL specific types. Okay, PLSQL specific types are what? Can I know from all of you? Everyone, what are PLSQL specific types? Can anyone respond to this? This month we will have an exam at the end of the month. Record type, collection type. You forgot? not reading, right? So when calling a function in SQL statement, you can have the execute privilege, okay? So you want to allow others to execute. Parallel enable also should be provided as a privilege to the user. That comes into the security authorization concept. But I want to show a small example of the calling function with a in parameter also, okay? So when you use the in parameter, you can call the function. So in parameter is for the purpose of calling it as and when you are going to use it as the argument. So it takes as in parameter because multiple things you can pass it as in parameter values. Okay. So I hope I have shown that to you all, even though I will try to show it to you. A small example of in parameter. I'm sharing the screen to give it a practical example so that we can move forward. I'm using this line to explain the function. Okay. All of you, is it clear? So I want to declare certain statements. All of you, is it clear to you all? So I want to declare a variable. In the declarative block, I am declaring a variable A as a number data type variable. B is a number data type variable and C is also a number data type variable. Three variables I declared. Okay. So I want to use function keyword to create a function. So I want to find a FUNCTAVOIN function. So function name is find max. I want to find the maximum value out of whatever you supply. Okay, you may supply multiple more than one. So here I can define anything as x in parameter I'm using. X in number data type and y in number data type. Okay. So this is the function. X in number data type, y in number data type. So what function should return? My function should return a number, right? So if I'm using the keyword, is the function body I'm defining. So we declared z as number, fine, and then body of the function I want to start. Here begin keyword, and somewhere I want to make it to be ended. Okay. So end keyword. So that has been closed. In the begin body, what I want to write. So I'm using a conditional construct. So x and y, two variables, whatever you supply, it has to find the maximum number out of these. How it can check whether it's maximum or minimum? So if x greater than y, it would be greater. So x greater than y. So then I want to do a small change here. Z is my variable, z equal to x because x is greater than y. Fine. Yes, I want to copy the z equal to y. So that is obviously it would be opposite to this. So then I want to end my conditional construct. End if. Okay. Conditionally the construct has been terminated. So then I have to return z value. So when you return the z value, that is the number type, it would be returned. Okay. Point taken. All of you please respond. Right. So now here I want to use, as this is the part of my program, there I am defining one more begin statement, end statement as part of this. Who responded? Yes, Shian. Yes, very good, Shian. Great. So now here I want to declare some variables. Begin. I'm writing as the variable A is a number data type I want to declare. $35 I entered. B equal to 25 I entered. Okay, A value is 35, B value is equal to 25. Now C equal to, I want to call my function. What is my name of the function? Find max. So I'm using the function to find max. There I want to pass the A value, comma B value. Okay, A and B value. Fine. So when you pass A and B value over there, so A and B value will be passing as the number here of X and Y variable. Okay. Point taken. So then when the function return a value, the value which has been written as a number will be copied into the variable C. So then I want to use this to write a statement, dbms underscore output dot, right? So there I want to display the result. As my variable name. For all these things, if you want to do, you can write so we declared 3 variables as you required. What are the 3 variables? A, B, C, 3 different variables, and we created a function as find max, and it has a variable argument of the in class. You are passing multiple things. So Y as the in number data type, and it is going to return a value of the number data type. So you declare a variable get as number. You started, if X greater than Y, then it has to copy the value of the X into get variable. Else it has to copy the Y value into get variable. Then conditional construct has been closed. Then it has to return the value of the get. So that is terminated. Now the part is that begin, you are calling the function here. So entire thing I want to pass as a single statement. Okay. Equal to, I directly might have used it. Equal to find max, so that has to be colon equal to, so that was the error, and concatenation is missed, that is another error. So there is another error, concatenation is missed, that I have added. End is not terminated somewhere, so that has to be rectified. So 3 errors have been created here. What is that error? You know, one error is I did a mistake of colon equal to. Second mistake, end is not terminated. Third mistake, here C is there, that has to be concatenated with the string. So those 3 are the changes. Then value is 35. So what is maximum out of passing values 3? So we have passed only 3 values, 2 values. One is A and B. So what is the maximum value? 35 is the maximum value. Now I want to change it as 15. So when you run this as 15 here, so it has to show the maximum value is 25. Point taken. All of you please respond. I hope you all have understood what I explained to you all. Everyone please respond. Yes, Shian. What about others? Everyone should respond, not 1 or 2 members. Very good. Right. So, named and mixed notation from SQL. PLSQL allow arguments in a subroutine call to be specified using positional, named or mixed notation. So, if you consider the previous example, we called as a separate one. we call as the part of your even SQL statement. So as an expression you call, but mixed notation is what we shall see here. Prior to Oracle 11G, only the positional notation is supported in calls from SQL. So now here we have mixed notation. So what is the mixed notation? How it is different from the other way of calling the function? Starting in Oracle database 11G, named and mixed notation can be used for specifying arguments in calls to PLSQL subroutines from SQL statements. From Oracle 11G version. For big long parameters list, with most having default values, we can omit values from the optional parameters. Because if the size of the parameters are big, you can omit the optional parameters. Fine. You can avoid duplicating the default value of the optional parameter in each call type. So multiple times when you are calling, you can avoid optional parameters. Now what is mixed notation? We shall see. There is a function name called f. Okay, as a general example. Is there p parameter 1 in number data type, default value is 1. Okay, p stands for parameter, so it's like a parameter. Now here second parameter is also a number type, default value is 5, 1 and 5. Return number, and what type of number it returns is the data type, number data type. So when you are handling this variable to initialize the value here, the variable equals to parameter 1 plus parameter 2 into 2. Okay, parameter underscore 5 is the second parameter. Okay, into 2 return variable. So when you consider this here, you are calling the function using select statement, p parameter underscore 5, and that one you are adding with the 10, 5 into 2, 10 plus 10, 20 from UL. So what happened here? It has displayed as 21. Reason, you are adding with the value of the default one also. Okay, parameter 1 value is 1 only. So that is you are adding with the parameter 5. So that you are multiplying also. 5 into 2, 10 plus 10, 20. So the value you can see here, 21. Point taken. All of you. Can I get the response from all of you, please? So likewise, you can use in mixed notation because you have used the variable with a arithmetic statement. It's very simple concept here. So function you are calling, and function is returning some value that you are concatenating with other value. As is the expression. So return value of the function has been combined with another value, then stored into my variable. Then I am displaying my variable value by calling the function. F is the name of the function. So I request you all to do this example in your lab practical. Can I know from all of you? Can you all do this? So when you want to drop a function, you can drop the function with a keyword or a command, drop function. So if you look into this function, find max. I'm using the name drop function. So a simple function name I'm using. My function name is find max. So I executed. Wait for a second. My browser is bouncing. Find max is not there. Okay. That function we created. Fine. I'm just using tax function to be dropped. Function drop. So this function won't be available for future use. All of you. So where all these functions, whatever you are creating, are available. So you can use a table called user table. Okay. So user dictionary, select star from user source is the function name. User source is the table name. So in this table, all your functions are available, triggers, functions, procedures. We had a discussion on this earlier. I hope you all have followed in the procedures also. So where I want to restrict it only for my category function. So where type equal to, fine. So my type is a data type, like object type. The object type equal to function. So only functions have been written here. So you can see many functions. All of you. Any questions, please respond. Make it fast, all of you. So what are the function you want to read? You can read it. This is a dictionary table. So in this chapter, we have certain things to discuss that I will show with a different situation where I use a SQL developer to debug the function. Okay. I'm using ISQL star plus. I'm debugging the functions using ISQL star plus. Instead of that, we can use SQL developer also as the environment to create the function and how to use the basic functionality of the SQL developer debugger. That I will share in the coming days of the session. Can I know from all of you? So in this, we had a discussion of what is a function. We identified the difference between function and a procedure. And we identified the ways of using a function. Function we can use as a normal separate block. Function can be an inline block of a program. Function can be a parameter in the select statement. So many ways you can call the function. Invoking a function, removing a function. Those are all the parts we discussed as part of today's objective. Can I know from all of you, please? Is everything clear? But I can find one thing from all of you. Very less number of people are doing practical, right? Fairly you all can say yes or no. Yes. So that in case if you don't do practicals well, if you don't read it well, it would affect with your comfortness of the subject. So day by day, when the subject is increasing, when we are moving forward, you will find difficulty to get more clarity on the topic. So my feel is that should not happen to you all. Okay. We are moving into the packages, third chapter. So once if the third chapter is completed, you will be with only 6 chapters more. Fine. Out of 6, 2 are will be the some subjective and theoretical, and remaining all will be practical oriented. And size of the chapters are also small. So please start reading. We will have an exam. I will share the schedule of the exam date also to you all, so that you can keep that point in mind. Okay. Your module test end date is 1 minute, that is on 29th. Okay. No change in the schedule. The exam date will be on 29th. That is on Monday. Otherwise, it would be 26th. It may be conducted on 26th, not 29th. Okay. Kindly find the schedule of the exam. I am alerting you all 15 days before. Not on 29th. Hopefully, it would be on 26th. In case if you have any college exams or any other things, you can speak to your center. They will help you out. Okay. I am sharing a small situation to you all. So this is the scheduled date. You please remember. That is Friday. Can I know from all of you? In case of any reason, if I extend the classes, I request you all to join for the classes, because due to any reason, this month we will have a studio maintenance also, so that I may conduct extra sessions to you all. So that I request you all to join for extra sessions also. Okay? Can I know from all of you? Is it possible? So you have to attend, because you can complete it on time. Okay? So that the thing you please remember. Right? Good. It is mandatory commonality. Instead of MR only, I will ask you to attend. So Friday, instead of initial group, you can come. Fine? So we shall see what is package now. Package is one where you can create a function or a procedure as a part of the package. The software like a package with certain other components as members. So if you consider the one, generally as a package, easily you can analyze the thing where other things are the members, right? So that you can call it as a package. Describe packages and their components. Create a package to group together related variables, cursors, constants, exceptions, procedures, and functions. So everything you can make it as a single unit of work, that is called as a package. Designate a package construct as either public or private. So you can make the package as a public package or a private package. Private package is applicable only for that particular user, for that particular module accessible. You can invoke a package and you can describe the use of a bodiless package. So these are all different objectives we should understand from this lesson. So I'm making you all to understand what is a package, but we will leave it in the next class. We should forget about it again, because if you follow it immediately, it would be good for us to remember, right? Identify the benefits and the components of a package. What is package is the first point. So it's very interesting actually, the package. So I'm sharing a small example of the package so that we can move forward easily to understand role of package. 1 minute, it's not loading. I'm sharing the screen so that we will move forward to understand the role of the package. Okay. I want to diagrammatically explain this, then I will move forward to explain subjectively. So if you look into this, we had a discussion of how it works. So here I want to create a function, I want to create a variable function, and I want to create a procedure. . So this I made it as a. So now you can see these two I want to make it as a package, and in this I may place some more things. So here it can be a function as a part, procedure as the one, cursor can be the one. So these are all I want to make it as a package. So combination of more than one reusable piece of code. Expecting response from all of you. Is it clear what is package? So you can make a procedure separate one. You can make a function separate one. But if you want to combine both into a single unit, it is called as a package. Expecting response from all of you. Yes, Shivan. Others, please respond. Very simple way I explained. Again, in the next class, you all will ask to explain from the beginning. Now itself, I am asking you all. Make it fast. So fine. So if you are finding difficulty, I will explain it practically to you all how a package will be, so that we can easily move forward. Okay. So I am going to show a practical example of how a package works. Okay. So that we can easily move forward to understand. All of you. So I am sharing the screen content. So generally, we create a procedure or a function where the function and procedure can exist in the database as a reusable piece of code. So there's the different ways you can call and you can execute, you can invoke. But the package is the one where the function or a procedure can be the members in the package. So like it's a combination of many different programmable units, you can make it as a single program. So if you take any software is the package of many different discrete functionalities. Same manner we can create a package. Point taken. So now I want to make this as a small example. First I am sharing a small example for creating a package. So for creating a package, create or replace. So create or replace is again same like how we have created a procedure or a function. Create or replace package. Fine. So body is the one, but actually I am showing it as directly as an example to you all. Then theoretically I'll explain. Okay. So customer salary I want to find using this package. Okay. Now the package has been created with a function or with a procedure you can create. So now in this, as the keyword I am using, the package is getting created. In this I want to create a procedure. So procedure I am creating. Now the procedure name is find salary. In this find salary procedure, I want to find the salary based on the type of the value you will pass. Fine. Find salary is my procedure name. So I want to find the customer ID. In the previous example, actually I have created it. So let me follow this the same way I want to do it. So same thing, but I have created for employees. Now I am changing for customers. Okay. 1 minute. Please wait 1 minute. So I want to create a variable. So first you look into the procedure body only. So customer ID as the customer's table. dot ID type. So modulus type is ID. So I'm taking customer data type attribute I'm using. That is the data type. Like here, customer ID you are creating, customer table ID data type we are selecting. Okay. So as the procedure body, now we are creating. As our is, I'm using is here as the procedure body. Fine. All of you. So C underscore salary variable I'm declaring, customer table dot salary value. So it's like salary variable. Okay. So that is the data type we are using as the type attribute. Point taken. So if you are confusing with this, I want to share the example of the customer table. Select star from customers. So when you read the data of the customers, I share that example completely to you all. 1 minute, then let it be executed. So this is the customer data. So I don't want to retrieve every customer data where ID equal to 1. Only for particular employee salary, 7,000 it is. Okay. So this is the statement I am copying. I want to use it in my body of this procedure. Begin and end of the procedure. In between I want to place this. Select star I have used instead of that. Select I want to select the salary into class into the C underscore salary variable. I want to copy into the variable from customers table. So where ID equal to, I want to use this ID as the parameter. Okay. So this is the ID I want to use. Where ID equal to C underscore ID. So that is the statement. Right. Then I want to display the value also. DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. So then I want to display the salary value also. Salary concatenated with my C salary variable. So my C salary variable is going to hold the salary value. Point taken. So I want to close my procedure also. Then find salary. My procedure has been ended here. Any questions? And I want to close my package also. Right. So I made a procedure as a member in a different package. So as you are creating a package, in this package body, you are creating a procedure as its member. And procedure life is what? It retrieves the data of employee salary and copies into a variable for customer salary. Fine. So now you can see here. And only one particular employee, whatever you supply, that only will be taken. Any questions? So far, is it clear to you all? Are you all, please respond. Okay. So now we shall create this package. Package body created is the message. You can see package body created. Once you look into this, the result as shown as package body created. Right? So the package body is existing inside, but actually I don't have any work without the function, or a procedure. So now how I can use the procedure? I have to use a declarative selection. To declare a variable to store a value, so I'm declaring as the variable name. Anything you can write it as a code block. Fine. So I want to pass a value of the customer table ID type. So that is the one I want to create it here. This is a separate section. You please analyze. I'm calling the package. So code is the variable I created. 1 minute. System is going to be stopped. Fine. So ID type I have taken, but for that I want to do a small task here. I want to use an ampersand symbol as the value to be passed over there. So customer ID I am declaring as a variable here. Customer ID type is going to be read from the user. So in this begin and end are the keywords where I will call my procedure. So what is my package name? Customer salary. I am selecting that the customer salary, but when I am calling this, that has a procedure as its member. So that is the one I am using here. So the same manner here, dbms underscore output is a package. In that you have a putLine method. Same in my package customer salary. In that I have a method find salary. Okay. The find salary will be called with the code value whatever I supply. So the code value I am supplying at the time of calling. So this is the only block. Right? Can I know from all of you? So now this block I copied. The package is already got created. Now I am executing this. It has to prompt me to enter the value. Ampersand is a substitution variable. So when I use ampersand here, it has to prompt me to enter a value. So if I enter a value as 1, it has to show the salary of that particular employee. Okay. So there is an error here. Let me close that. Then again I execute it. Enter a value as 1. Then continue. Still there is an error. So now let me check this. Fine. So now I executed once again. I entered a value 1. So salary 7,000. I request you all to see here. Point taken. All of you please consider that what happened here. So can I explain once again to you all? So we created a package. In this example, we have created a package with only one procedure. In coming days, we will discuss about the next class how to create a package with a function or a procedure. Find salary is the procedure name. Customer table ID type we have taken. And here it is going to store the data into a C salary variable. Begin. And this is a SQL statement to copy the data into the variable. So you are using a package dbms underscore output dot putLine to display the value and the procedure and package. So both have been closed. Now you are calling it. How you are calling it? You are calling with the package dot procedure name. So the package and procedure as the member one inside another. So now when you want to call the function or a procedure, you should call the package first. So that's the one we have done, package dot procedure name. Find salary is the procedure name. Can I know from all of you? See, PLSQL learning with a lot of interest only is possible. I hope you are all paying. Those who are just leaving, they will find difficulty in subject, obviously. Okay? All of you please respond, whoever are there, all Borvali Center, Aditya, Aishwarya, Akshay, Chauhan, Subjani, Sunny Kumar, Sonal, Devendra, all Borvali Center. You click on that, all Andheri West, Sham Bazar, Greater Noida, Jayanagar, Tambaram, BKC Center, Just go for everyone calling by name. Click on plus. Have you all understood whatever I explained so far? So I'm sharing a question for that. So if you keep your headphones right, if you concentrate on the session, I hope you will give a positive answer. Everyone please respond. Good. Good concentration and good interest you are all paying. Right. Nice. So that's the way I request you all to concentrate on the topic, concentrate on study. Rajshekaran, any problem, Rajshekaran? You haven't responded. Bhatia, Rohan Bhatia, Shaini, Hansraj. Any technical problem or anything happening there? Fine. So I hope you enjoyed the session today. And we'll move forward working with the packages in the coming class on Wednesday. And how to work with the package, how to create the package. Most of the things I covered, but I will explain more things about the package. Okay? And how to drop the package is the one we will discuss in the next class. Okay? After that, the fourth chapter also will be continued with the packages only. So how to create more other ways of the packages is a part of the fourth chapter also. So that the way the second session will be continued. Fine? All of you? Right. So the same thing, your comfortness, I request you all to participate in feedback as part of today's session. I'll upload all examples in the group tonight max, so you can use it for your additional practices. This week we will have an extra session, most probably on Friday, that I request you all to participate. Okay? Yes, Sunny. Extra session will be on Friday, same time slot, Sunny, in the mission room. Okay? Right. Thank you all. I request you all to participate in the feedback as part of today's session. And we had a discussion on working with the packages, but we haven't completed what is the other things of the package. Okay? Just I showed on what is the specification, what is the body of the package. Okay? But we'll move forward to understand from very beginning of the topic of the packages. But that time I don't explain everything to you all from the beginning. You remember, you recall it. Okay? Fine. Thank you all. Good day to you and good night. Please participate in feedback as part of today's session. Thank you all.